Hello everyone. Today I want to talk a bit about the importance of your hair. Your hair is actually an extension of your nervous system and not a fashion item as some of you might think. It fills your body with life force, so chi, prana, vril, or maybe argon if you will. These are all the same thing.
Maria Orsic was leader of the German Vril Society. Dedicated to the study and practice of metaphysics and the occult, the Vril maidens did not cut their hair. They claimed that their long strands helped facilitate contact with beings from beyond and helped harness what they called Vril.
I myself always wanted to keep my hair short. I think this is because my parents were conditioned into thinking that black hair was not beautiful, you know. It was because it was too curly or too hard or whatever. And, you know, straight hair was more beautiful. But I know now that that's not true, of course. They make all kinds of chemicals to straighten your hair, to get bigger curls, even to give it another color. But all that it does is it destroys your hair, and it keeps us blind from what you can do with all your hair. Because if you destroy your hair, you destroy your connecting ability. So, and the same goes for any type of bleaching or coloring agent. I would advise you to steer clear from stuff like that, because it's not good for you.
Growth hormone additives in plants to stimulate faster growth and more yields from Bayer and Monsanto are starting to make everyone go bald at a young age. This was a side effect which served the elite well, with a number of things in mind. One is to pump up the billion-dollar hair loss market with pharmaceuticals that are costly, with side effects of impotence. Other products like shampoos and so-called remedies that are designed to fail. The cure for baldness was already discovered in 2010 and was bought and shelved by one of these big companies. This has a psychological effect to keep people in a negative, distressed mood about going bald. The most important thing the elite wanted to achieve was to cut all the men's hair short, or better still, young men going bald was an added bonus. This was the de-maning of the lion. The mane is the lion's pride and joy. It's the sign of strength of being a male. When they cut your hair short, they're de-maning the lion, taking the man out of you. This is why they cut Samson's hair off in the story Samson and Delilah. This is why they cut your hair off in the army and in the prison. Now in modern times, all the males are cutting their hair short or completely bald. Sheer madness is gripping the world on every imaginable level. Not only is it destructive from a psychological point of view, but also hair is an extension of the nervous system. It can be correctly seen as exteriorized nerves, a type of highly evolved feelers or antennae that transmit vast amounts of important information to the brainstem, the limbic system, and the neocortex. Not only does hair in people, including facial hair in men, provide an information highway reaching the brain, hair also emits energy, the electromagnetic energy emitted by the brain into the outer environment. This is scientifically well documented. Indians used to grow their hair long. People in the past grew their hair long. Let your kids' hair grow long. It's healthy.
Of course, the biblical story of Samson and Delilah comes to mind. I remember when I used to think as a kid, when I heard the story about Samson, I was totally fascinated by the way he lost all his powers after his hair got cut. And there's this story about Native American Indian trackers who got drafted in the army.
So what they did is they drafted a whole bunch of Native American guys and put them in the service. They took them through boot camp. They did everything. Then they went back to basic training, went home, partied up, and they come back in to do the other training, the war games and things. So what they found out was that they couldn't do anything. They were like everybody else, you know, show me the way, tell me something so I could do something. I'm not in my own environment. So anyway, they did the war games and they just like, forget it, they all died, you know, nothing happened. And so when they went back, the officer saying, I thought you told us that these Native American people were good trackers. He said, yeah, that's true. That's what we found out. So they're trying to say, okay, what's the difference? What happened here? What's going on here? And so they did a little study here. Okay, all these guys had hair before they went to service. So they went in there, they shaved it all off. So they said, oh, maybe that's the thing. Go back and do another research and find out, give us some good trackers. So when they came back with the research, the same results was that these Native American men were good trackers. So what they did, they drafted a whole bunch of men in the service again. This time they didn't cut their hair. They didn't cut their hair. They let it go because it was an experiment. So when they did their basic training, they went out back home, they come back in, they did the war games, and they won every little game that ever was put up against them. And one of the things that they did was they had feelings. I would have this feeling something's going to happen. Let's go over here. And they would surprise their attackers. They would win these war games because they had their hair. So they came up with the result that your hair acts as little antennas out into the auric fields of others.
Here's a typical test the Native Americans would undergo. The recruit is sleeping out in the woods. An armed enemy approaches the sleeping man. The long-haired man is awakened out of his sleep by a strong sense of danger and gets out of the way long before his enemy is close, long before any sounds of the approaching enemies are audible. In another version of this test, the long-haired man senses an approach and somehow intuits that the enemy will perform a physical attack. He follows his sixth sense and stays still, pretending to be sleeping, but quickly grabs the attacker and kills him as the attacker reaches down to strangle him. This same man, after having passed these and other tests, then received a military haircut and consistently failed these tests and many other tests he had previously passed. So I hope that shows you how important it is to grow your hair. I know that some people have bald spots, but it would still benefit you to grow the rest of your hair out. Also, people with bald spots are usually men, so you can grow your beard in addition to that. If you think you will not be able to do it because of your job or the way you need to look, maybe you should just reconsider that. Maybe you should talk to your superior and ask him if it's actually that weird to grow your hair out. So if you see me making a video with my hair all messed up and stuff, I don't care. I really don't care. I think my intuition is too important to lose. I'm never cutting it again. Never. And I hope you do so too. See you all soon.